Well, the Phoenix Indian Center has been around since 1947, so we're in our 67th year of existence, and we were really formed during that time period, which is called the Federal Termination Policy for American Indians. They were taking Native Americans from reservations farthest away from 5 federally designated relocation cities, of which Phoenix was one. And so the whole goal of that particular act by the federal government was to terminate reservations as they existed at the time.
We do have quite a large number of Native Americans living here in the city, ranging from many different tribes across the nation.
There are many families that relocate here to the city that experience culture shock, and we strive to help them in a different number of areas.
The parents that are raising the youth today on the reservation, they're not thinking that they shouldn't go to college. Of course, every parent wants their child to do the best they can, regardless, but they're just not showing them because they never did it. And the reason for them not doing it is because of the way that this all goes back to when we got moved to the reservation, when we weren't able to speak our language, when we weren't able to do our traditions.
We have a population who is not an advocate for their kids in school at all. And that all stems from another federal government termination policy, and that's the boarding schools. You know, wagons from the cavalry originally showed up on reservations and just took kids away, you know, from toddler age on up, and took them away to school. So it was forced removal into boarding school. There were no parenting skills learned there, and really what you learned is you drop your child off at the school door and you come back to pick them up. Parents don't walk in, they don't volunteer, they don't interact with the education system, and that whole thought and idea really is prevalent in the parents that we see today.
To help address those historical setbacks and the urgent needs of families, the Phoenix Indian Center teamed up with the school district, social service agencies, tribal governments, local businesses, and other stakeholders to create a college and career readiness program for high school age young men. Through a 2-week summer academy and a Saturday session each month, the young men are guided in developing their future goals and finding pathways to educational and career success, while still maintaining a connection to their native culture and community.
We find in the urban areas that our American Indian boys and girls certainly fall through the cracks, and they're not getting the assistance that they need. They're not seeing the role models that they need to see in key positions. And so we wanted to help connect them to those jobs.
Finance, accounting, legal, mechanics, welders, electricians. We gave them a tour of all of that. We let them see the machine shop and look at some of the different crafts and trades that can be out there. And I think just being exposed to the variety of things out there can prove encouraging for some of these students to realize that, you know, I don't have to take just one path, and I can find the kind of things that make me happy and ignite passions in me and turn them into something.
I want to be a biomedical scientist, but it's going to be a long, long time till I'm there. But this is going to help me get networking skills. It will help me get there. It will help me meet more people. It will help me be more prepared and understand what I need to do to get to my certain goals.
The career readiness program is going to help me, especially as like a young Native American, to see my potential and from where I'm from, and to help me really decide what I want to do. How we're going through this program, it's like telling us like what we can do. It's not telling us what we can't do. In the high school, like in the history class, they don't teach you everything. They don't tell you everything about your culture. They don't do all that. They mainly just like do like maybe 2 pages in the book, and that's it.
My part is to help them understand who they are. Basically self-identity issues that a lot of our young people have, make them become aware of what these things are so that they will be able to take it upon themselves and explore further by using the only resource that we know of, which is our elders, and bring the cultural identity back.
This program that we're in right now, they're putting it together, and we're trying to embrace the same culture, but making everybody as one too. I think that's pretty cool too, because not only am I learning about my own culture, I'm learning about the others too, and having respect for mine and theirs too.
The young men are our future. We want them leaders in Indian country. And so it is my hope that through this program, one day we'll see them as our tribal chairmen, as our leaders, being role models for the rest of our American Indian youth. And so kind of that sort of cycle, I'm hoping, is something that can be accomplished through this project.
I don't mind what I end up being, whether it's like a parole officer or the president, or I just own like a bike shop. I want to be happy knowing that I learned what I learned and that I took every opportunity I could to obtain that knowledge along the way, you know.
What I'm going to be doing is basically being able to go to college, like on my own, with my own scholarships, and be able to work as an aerospace engineer and be able to create new technologies that everyday people use.
And I'm out here doing all this because I know my father grew up on the reservation and it wasn't good and he didn't have a family. I plan on making that different, not only for him, but for my own sake and for hopefully my future family's sake.